9 experienced ski hikers set out one winter's day in 1959, using their skis to traverse snowy terrain, aiming to reach the summit of a remote mountain in the Russian wilderness. They never returned, and their disappearance remains a perplexing and enduring mystery. The group consisted of students and graduates from the Ural Polytechnic Institute, which is now called the Ural State Technical University in Russia. The ski hiking trip was arranged by Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old radio engineering student and enthusiastic skier. Igor assembled a group that originally numbered 10, himself, 7 other men, and 2 women. The youngest member of the party was 20 years old, and the oldest was 38. They planned to journey by train to Ivdel, then by truck to the remote village of Vizhay. Arriving on January 26th, they purchased loaves of bread for sustenance, and spent the night there, enjoying their final rest before beginning their trek towards Otorten. 2 days into the journey, they lost one of their members, Yuri Yudin, due to health issues. Yuri suffered from rheumatism, which caused severe pain in his knees and other joints, forcing him to turn back. Despite Yuri's departure, the remaining 9 continued their trek. After Yuri departed, the others pressed on with their skis and poles. By January 31st, they had reached the foothills, marking a transition to uphill terrain. Blinding snowstorms engulfed them, leading to confusion and a westward deviation from their intended path. They had the option to descend for shelter and wait out the storm, but Igor Dyatlov was reluctant to lose altitude and face the prospect of climbing back up later. Instead, upon realizing their error, they chose to stop and establish their camp on the eastern slope of Kholat Syakhl, ominously named Dead Mountain. Now exposed to the harsh elements of the Russian winter, they awaited clearer conditions. Back in Ekaterinburg, no one knew what had happened. Dyatlov had promised to send a telegram once the group safely returned to Vizhay, anticipated around February 12th. Initially, delays were not concerning, and their friends and families remained calm. However, by February 20th, with no communication from Vizhay, worries mounted. A rescue effort, led by students and teachers from the Ural Polytechnic Institute, commenced, but yielded no results. Military forces were then deployed, but it wasn't until February 26th that any information about the students emerged. The search party found the students' campsite, with an abandoned and damaged tent covered in snow. Inside the tent were all the group's belongings, including their shoes. Leading away from the tent were 8 or 9 sets of footprints, suggesting that the group, without shoes, had ventured out into the snowy terrain either barefoot or in socks, despite the bitterly cold temperatures of around -30 degrees Celsius. The tracks led 500 meters away, until they were obscured by snow. Under a Siberian pine tree, the search party found the remains of a small fire and 2 bodies, dressed only in underwear and barefoot. Between the pine tree, where the 2 men were found, and the abandoned camp, 3 more bodies were located, each at different distances from the tree. One of them was Dyatlov, the leader of the group. The story initially concluded with no further bodies in sight. Then, on May 4th, more than 2 months after the initial discoveries, the final 4 bodies were found buried under 4 meters, 13 feet, of snow in a ravine. It appeared they had died separately, and their clothes had been taken by the survivors, in an attempt to stay warm as they perished. What could have caused the deaths of 9 young, fit individuals who were experienced ski hikers, accustomed to the harsh Russian winter? Why did they venture out barefoot, and why were their bodies discovered scattered in different places? Numerous theories circulated regarding their deaths. Some suggested local indigenous people might have attacked the students for trespassing, but no evidence of other individuals or a struggle was found. The official inquiries into their deaths were expected to provide answers, but only deepened the mystery. The first 5 students found were determined to have died from hypothermia, although Slobodin had a small skull fracture. The bodies discovered in May presented a different scenario. 3 had significant skull injuries. The official verdict attributed all 9 deaths to a compelling natural force, yet the exact nature of this force remained elusive. Various theories have been proposed to explain their deaths, including possibilities such as an avalanche or the dangerous effects of hypothermia, where individuals mistakenly believe they are warm and may remove clothing, worsening their situation. Despite leaving behind cameras and diaries, significant uncertainties persist about what actually happened to them. Postmortems revealed that they had not eaten for 6 to 8 hours before their deaths, but their activities during that time remain unknown. This lingering uncertainty has kept their deaths, which occurred 60 years ago, surrounded by mystery. Among the theories, one long-standing idea suggests the group may have encountered government testing of a nuclear or military weapon. Other hypotheses range from a parachute mine exercise to an encounter with a Russian Yeti. 60 years on, the Dyatlov Pass Incident stands as a haunting reminder of the complexities and uncertainties that can accompany seemingly straightforward expeditions into the wilderness.